Following the recent release of the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, the internet has exploded in some of the most asinine discourse about one of the main playable characters being a black samurai. It is that simple. People are upset because you get to play as a black samurai. There is no subtle nuance about it. There is no underlying intelligent discussion to be had. The people are mad because you get to play as a black samurai. Assassin's Creed Shadows follows the pattern of previous Assassin's Creed games such as Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla by giving you two playable characters. The first is a ethnically Japanese woman named Naoe, who would be the traditional assassin character. The second is actually the real-life African samurai Yasuke. So for all the people who are up in arms about Yasuke being a playable character, they have completely ignored the fact that the main assassin in the titular game titled Assassin's Creed is a Japanese woman. But if we're being completely honest, if this game had a single protagonist and it was only Naoe, we would still have discourse about the main protagonist being a woman. And I must say, for all this discourse, I have one simple sentence. Shut the fuck up about it. It's not that serious. And at length, I'm going to give you two explanations as to why it isn't that serious. Explanation number one, it isn't that serious because Yasuke, for all intents and purposes, was a samurai. Point blank period. There is no argument to be had about it. There is no debate to be had about it. He was a samurai. That's your too long didn't read version. Now let's go through all of the historical resources that I utilized to come to this conclusion. I'm not going based off Twitter replies or YouTube comment sections or whatever other nonsense is out there. I'm going based on what historians have come to an agreement on. All links that I'm using in this video will be provided in the description if you want to go do your own research about that. To start, based on the historical definition of samurai, a member of the Japanese warrior caste, the term samurai was originally used to denote the aristocratic warriors, bushi, but it came to apply to all the members of the warrior class that rose to power in the 12th century and dominated the Japanese government until the Meiji Restoration in 1868. With that definition, let's take a look at the documented history of Yasuke and how he became a samurai per this definition. From SmithsonianMag.com, not much is known about Yasuke's early life. Some historians speculate he was born in Mozambique, Ethiopia, or Nigeria. Thomas Lockley, co-author of African Samurai, The True Story of Yasuke, a legendary black warrior in feudal Japan, says it's possible Yasuke was enslaved and trafficked as a child, but believes he was a free man by the time he met Alessandro Valignano, an Italian Jesuit missionary. The duo traveled from India to Japan in 1579, with Yasuke essentially serving as Valignano's bodyguard. Yasuke was employed as muscle because missionaries aren't allowed to have weapons, Lockley says. Japan at the time was in the middle of a brutal century of civil war, and therefore Valignano needed somebody to look after him. Skipping further down the page, we get to learn about when Yasuke first came into the service of Oda Nobunaga. Yasuke first crossed paths with Nobunaga in 1581, when Valignano requested permission from the warlord to leave the country, a customary practice in an era before passports, according to Lockley. Nobunaga was fascinated by the color of Yasuke's skin, which he initially believed to be covered in black paint. As Lockley explains, the daimyo ordered Yasuke to be washed, but his skin color remained unchanged. Nobunaga threw a welcome party for his visitor, who officially entered his service soon after. The Chronicle of Lord Nobunaga, a 17th century book written by one of Nobunaga's followers, describes Yasuke as appearing to be 26 or 27 years old. The man looked robust and had good demeanor. What is more, his formidable strength surpassed that of 10 men. Other chronicles characterize the samurai as an intelligent, imposing figure who stood more than 6 feet tall. Though Yasuke was already a skilled warrior, he likely underwent additional martial arts training upon joining Nobunaga's army. In 16th century Japan, the title of samurai spoke to rank and was loosely defined as a warrior in the service of a lord or another warrior. By 1581, Nobunaga employed thousands of samurai, yet Yasuke was the first foreign-born warrior to enter their ranks. He belonged to the very small entourage around Nobunaga, which was probably around 30 to 50 warriors, mainly young men, many of whom were Nobunaga's lovers as well. Lockley says, traditionally, older warriors like Nobunaga, then in his early 50s, mentored younger warriors and developed sexual relationships with them. No evidence indicates that Yasuke and Nobunaga were lovers. So those are the facts. Raw, unbiased facts for all of the potential definitions you can think of by the way the Japanese themselves classified samurai. Yasuke fit that definition. Now, was he the most godly, ordained, and wonderfully worshipped and revered samurai of the time? Absolutely not. But you at this point cannot deny that he was a samurai. So fucking get over it. And all of that reading and wonderful learning we just did is all for naught, coming to my second point. My second point is that Assassin's Creed is a fictional fucking video game. From the first Assassin's Creed game, they have made it abundantly clear that they are not telling true history in the way that it occurred. And it isn't some one-off line that a character says in game or something a developer said in an interview once by accident. Assassin's Creed 1 released in November of 2007, and before you can even move your playable character, when you start the game, all of these typical warnings that come up, and the one that comes on screen as dictated by Ubisoft themselves is this: inspired by historical events and characters, this work of fiction was designed, developed, and produced by a multicultural team of various religious faiths and beliefs. This fucking message is present in the beginning of every single entry of Assassin's Creed. And it has recently been changed in wording, but not the wording that we're looking for. The new message reads, inspired by historical events and characters, this work of fiction was designed, developed, and produced by a multicultural team of various beliefs, sexual orientations, and gender identities. And while they expanded their message to fit orientations and identities, they did not delete the line stating that this is a fucking work of fiction. None of the characters in Assassin's Creed, the main protagonists, have ever existed. Ezio Auditore is fake. Haytham is fake. Edward is fake. Connor is fake. Altair is fake.
That wasn't real.
What?
That wasn't real. Who cares?
Don't say that. Please don't say that. It was real. It was real to me.
Yasuke is the first playable main character based on a historical figure, but even then, Assassin's Creed games have always had historical figures that have had their stories altered slightly to fit the game. I promise you, Leonardo da Vinci did not create a flying machine for an Italian playboy to kill people with. I also promise you that the real-life Pope, Rodrigo Borgia, did not partner with a secret society of Templars and get a magical apple created by an alien race and use it to fight an order of secret assassins. Even if Yasuke was a janitor in historical Japan, even if he had no official title, he was known by nobody. All the records we have say Yasuke was the best janitor of all time, and he gave really crisp high fives. Assassin's Creed is historical fiction. They can take anything they want and alter it in any way they want. And if your gripe currently is that it isn't historically accurate, I promise you a lot of Assassin's Creed isn't. The truth is, you don't care about historical accuracy. You don't care about playing an ethnically Japanese person in an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan. Because if you did, you'd been upset about Assassin's Creed Revelations, which takes place in Istanbul or Turkey. And who do we play as in that game? Italian Ezio Auditore. And in Assassin's Creed Chronicles, we already played as an Asian woman in China, and even in Assassin's Creed Shadows now exists. She is the assassin, and she is ethnically Japanese. What you really want to say in your bones is that you don't like black people, and you don't want to play as a black person. So stop being a pathetic milksop baby back bitch and admit it. Thanks for watching. Behave yourself.